Wow, hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
It's genocide, Jill. Ešte lepšie.
What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do?
You're going to die.
I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko, that's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality! So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's fault.
Tak to bolo Toko.
So intense.
Like they say, sound and murder is mind, sound and murder is body!
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
Už ju zabij, Monokuma, prosím ťa. Ešte raz mi je otravná.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Stupid
Well, I'll tell
question.
you, I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Monokuma ťa tak vysmeje za chvíľu.
It's not true? Of course it's not true! How dare you try to
Presne.
link me to that creepazoid?
How dare you?
And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless. I mean, they just let this idiotic bloodthirsty
I know.
maniac go buck wild all over town.
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain,
Až moc,
right?
že?
To live is to
Mne
hurt
to
other
príde
people.
úplne
It's a necessary
až
evil
moc.
if you want to survive. The act of
Easy.
living itself causes
Alebo
pain for everyone.
fakt, že to fakt priamo čere, že je to ona.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death.
On to
There's
tak strašne
clearly a motive,
pušuje a
so
strašne
there
chce,
should
aby
be
to
no
tak bolo.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such
Yes,
a
není to
bizarre
ona.
fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Strašne to pušoval, že chcel, že to bola ona, ale není.
Yeah, I could never believe a word you say, you monster.
Značka a všetko. To by rovno nabehla za ňou, aby ju tam nechala, nešla by ani do chlapčenskej. Áno, viac detailov. Makáme, není to ona.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need? Give it up. You killed her.
but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Ne, ja som...
Alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
No, that's wrong.
Bol to Byakuya a snaží sa to hodiť na ňu, lebo vie, že ona je genocide Jack a snaží sa to hodiť na ňu. Urobil fejkový čin, ako by urobila ona, aby to hodil na ňu, lebo nechce, aby jeho tajomstvo sa prezradilo. A on všetko vedel o genocide Jackovi a preto sa tu snaží pušovať, že to bola ona. Takže áno, odhalil ju, ale ona to nebola. A bol to on. Môžete tak vidieť? Bola, prišla som na to.
I think there's a slight difference between the genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Vraždila nožnicami, zajebala ju činkou
Well then, human
a,
garbage, let me tell you.
a zavesila ju cez tie káble. A to oni sú všetci zabití nožničkami.
And conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
On jediný vedel o nej.
This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the genocide Jack cases and this one. A gun! For one, the cause of death is different. In the genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way.
Áno, nožničky.
According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head,
Aha,
right?
a to by neurobila. Neverím, že by tam nemali nožničky.
It's remarkably different from the other murders.
Alebo nožík.
Wouldn't it be strange for
Podobné.
someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking? So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
No určite vlastné, lebo... Vidíš. Áno, through their hands a neck.
A gun!
Káble od fucking lampy.
Suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by
To
her
nebolo
wrists.
robili káble. Tu kabel tam bol.
Well, in all the previous genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I use my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement.
To je úplne múdre, holka. Veľmi múdre.
Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac?
Big Mac.
Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each genocide Jack case.
Ona vraždí mužov.
There's a pattern there, just
Áno,
waiting
to
to be
som sa chcela
discovered.
zamerať tiež, proste medzi obeťami je vždycky
Figure that out,
niečo
and it'll be plain
spoločné.
as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Áno. Lolly girl, oh god.
My God! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
Ona je taká Jinx toko, keď sa svične.
In all the genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
Všetko boli muži.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I killed with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men!
Bojte sa, chlapi. Si je ďalší cieľ.
I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
Gabo, bojíš sa? Mal by
I'm
si.
just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged man-madam!
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. That's not all
Vyakuja.
there is to it.
Japuješ. Príliš robíš jap.
When you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Áno.
Lolly car!
Ty si to urobil.
Cur?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere
Presne.
survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement?
Presne.
The obvious suspect!
Jak
That does make some amount of sense.
bol to
Whatever
Vyakuja.
reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized
A nikto ho nepresvedčil to, že nie.
Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Má svoje vlastné so sebou.
I don't just use any scissors. I only use
A
my
typem, že Monokuma jej priniesol aj tie nožničky.
The entire world! Scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that? Bojte sa, chlapi. Joj.
She's fully equipped. That's right. So I can kill anywhere, anytime. Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty
Bol
scissors
to
by my side?
Vyakuja. Bol to Vyakuja.
Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. The rope's totally out of the question anyway.
Áno.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Ale to mám všetko nakúkal Vyakuja. Počkaj, čo? Kde ťa mám?
Here's my answer.
Tak teraz sa vykecej z tohto.
Possible you could have found out, isn't it?
Že vykecej sa z
You'd
toho,
have no
borec.
problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the genocide Jack files before this all happened. hadn't you?
No? 3 bodky mi dáš?
Mr. Togami?
3 bodky mi dáš? Priznaj sa, ty
The
idiot.
reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
Áno. A možno to tlačil.
You arranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire.
Čiluj.
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
Daj mi argumenty, poď.
I see.
I
So
see?
now the suspicion falls on me.
Áno.
And I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange. You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
Áno.
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Ale to nikto nevedel predtým.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
Nikto o tom predtým
On the
nevedel.
contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then.
Nevedel, keby to neurobí, že? To je tvoj argument?
Share with the rest of the class.
Vysvetli mi to, prosím ťa. Truth flashback. Ježiši Mária. Weak spot and hold down left mouse button. Good luck, have fun.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it.
Your argument v tomto je useless.
Any guy.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There
Ja,
was no
ale
time
to
for
nikto
pointless
nevedel.
distractions. What's so strange about that?
you wish you'd taken me with you.
Neriešim, dobre.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird...
If you're presented with the opportunity to check...
That's a natural
Ty sa k tomu tady
reaction for
nevyjadruj,
any guy.
prosím ťa.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
Nie? To je akože áno, ale nie týmto
So,
spôsobom.
you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Ne, a už som to jasne.
Shoot!
Môžem strieľať aj biely text?
So, you said
Anna.
Byakuya was but he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room, that's a natural reaction for any guy.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker.
Musíš skopírovať nie to prvé, čo povie a streliť do toho, čo hovorí Byakuya. Jak to skopírujem?
There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
You wish you'd taken me with you? So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girl,
That's a natural reaction for any guy.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check.
Jak? To stlačam, ale to nič nerobí.
There was no time. What's so strange? You wish you'd taken me with you? So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird...
Čam stlačať biely
if you're
text?
presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
That's a natural reaction for any guy.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest there was no time for What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity...
That's a natural... The victim was... So, of course, there was no time... What's so strange? You wish you'd taken me with you? So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
That's a natural reaction.
The victim was Chihiro.
no, it's wrong.
Musím držať. No.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls'
Ja
locker
viem, že je
room
to
first
Byakuya, ale
because
musím ho
Chihiro was the
usvedčiť,
victim
debilka
doesn't hold up.
malého.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed.
To nemá byť zaujímavé, si vrah.
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
Čauko, jak nemáme peniaze? Riešime tú vraždu.
What's the matter? You're not finished already,
Ahoj.
are you? There must be more to it.
Ja ti mám dávať viac argumentov, tebe daj argumenty na to, že si to neurobil.
Think about it.
We
Nemáme.
just talked about the differences
Žijeme na
between this
Slovensku.
case
Kto má
and
peniaze na
past
Slovensku, mi
genocide
povedz.
incidents. The proof you're
Od
looking
novej
for
vlády
is
iba
hidden
naša
in
vláda
there.
ich má.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Áno. Káble, boli to káble. Z knižnice, kde si trávil poľku svojej rite. Zázidem, bože môj. Library Desk Club, áno. Je to tak, je to tak, je to tak, je to tak.
The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again?
Ja chcem bodíky.
I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
Áno.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
Knižnicu!
I've never seen that rope before in my life.
Ne, ne, uhoď text
Obviously,
do
somebody
piči!
else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
Skurvený, retardovaný, jebnutý text. Rúžový. Najebný.
That's right!
Then there must be
Hey, Byakuya.
I've never seen that rope before in my life.
Videl!
no, that's wrong.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
And Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
No, 3 bodky mi dáš.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this?
To je argument na niečo
Chihiro in the
také.
girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message.
Ale ty si to neurobil v dievčenskej, ty si to urobil v chlapčenskej a potom si prehodil vecičky. Ale prehodil si ich na kon.
Is that about right?
Áno. Ale hrešíš, no a čo môžem?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
Je to on,
Agree but not disagree.
ale povedal to zle.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Áno.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Keď bude mať Metro Exodus, tak si zahra Metro
Pray
Exodus.
tell is still bothering you.
Úplne easy.
I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
On ju zabil v chlapčenskej.
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right?
A on to spravil v
Are you sure
chlapčenskej.
about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that?
Hovoríš o sebe?
Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown.
Ne.
She was found dead in the girls' locker room.
Áno.
There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene?
Neviem. Spýtaj sa
That
tej
was
osoby.
awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Bolo to chlapčenské, môžem už to povedať.
Don't just move on without permission!
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder...
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Možno áno, možno nie.
Proof is some posters?
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
To je veľmi posledná
Meanwhile, the boys'
informácia
locker
v tejto
room had
chvíli.
a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I
Čo ideme
noticed about
robiť?
the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
Mhm.
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
And you are fucked up.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Mhm.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
No, Biakuja, povedz mi na to viac než 3 bocky.
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but
Just pinkali.
why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Daj mi.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook! She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in
Nie
the
mam
main
szkoły.
hall.
Huh? What then?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
Ne.
No, that's wrong.
Ja som sa trafila na random.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Môžeš ju použiť, ale
Actually,
nesmieš
the
ju
rule
dať.
states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts glaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook,
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Môže tá hra už skončiť? Musíme ho usvedčiť a potom...
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and
Shut up,
that's what you got
Mundo.
to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So,
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in?
On jej
There's
mohol
still
dať
one
svoju.
other way she could have gained access.
Alebo nie.
What? What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty
Let's go.